Monday, September 8, 2025. Stone 7. Gnosis, May 19. Do Re Mi. The Akasha tells me every living being has an imagination, within which is an infernal imagination and a heavenly imagination. These must develop naturally. Breathing living media that change over time. In it, the imagination is not supposed to be fed directly or aggressively from any source. Secret Storm changes this. It has a extremely strong infernal imagination, and a extremely weak heavenly imagination. This is odd considering what came before, which is that Kale Mipha wished for a world in which the multiverse had few if any natural laws such as gravity, space-time, and such. Cars and trucks, as if they were headed somewhere together. Do Re. Dreams, January 2025. I dreamt of a banquet of false faces. In a house designed with no roof in the center. These doppelgangers were there to cause psychic damage. One looked and behaved like each loved one. Just to make me feel safe. So that when I felt safe enough it would turn. Had this exact nightmare repeatedly this morning, almost 10 times every single time I fell back asleep. The most regressively recurring, and I know now it won't happen again. I know what happened to me all those years ago. I walked down the street with a strange woman in the dark, down a hill towards a town out of the country, holding a candle very casually and calmly. I dreamt about animals running on the highway. Mountain lions, cave lions, boars, tigers, wolves, dingoes, in a caravan with cars and trucks, as if they were headed somewhere together. And then there was a place for them all. I dreamt about how there is a festival every year, and for many years I was the one to make the symbolic games people would play. And the scale was incredible, the level of detail. In my games and entertainment and stories, I was so loved. And then I saw how tired I was. How tired I am. Seeing it be done by others now. I am dreaming about the part of Havenborough that teaches what happened to Portland. It's beautiful. And so sad. I was at this conference at a hotel. And there was a demon that had come in. And I needed to find my sword cane. And a new pagan was asking if using a pentagram was alright or if the demon could corrupt it. And I started explaining that because pentagrams and pentacles could conduct different kinds of energy to infuse it with your own energy, a protective energy. And this witch wearing a Fehu necklace was like, it's obviously about prosperity because of the number 5. I tried to respect her opinion, but she was incredibly condescending. And by being aggressively denied the respect I feel I deserve, I got intensely frustrated. And went outside to fight the undead to get them off the rooftop. There were demon-possessed zombified people on the roof, throwing fireworks, and making strange ugly sounds. We were not on the roof, we're just outside, and he walked off so fast. He was with his family on vacation, not there for the conference. The hotel was incredibly crowded and none of the situation was planned well. The man in the t-shirt was pushing me out the door because he thought I was trying to cut in line. I walked in front lawn of the hotel and there were so many food trucks and people. And just dark overgrown moss and nature. It was a wild green-gray stormy mess. Oddly inexplicably beautiful. There were so many people. In so many kinds of twisted sadness and gloom and lonely pain. Tuesday. The scale was enormous. So, I had the same recurring nightmare almost a dozen times. The doppelganger family and friends, or a uncanny banquet at a roofless house in the country. Symbolic self-curing, especially now. Especially now. It has never been so significant and so personally psychically intense to finally choose to believe I am worthy of protection. When I did the sphere, this time I felt this incredible heavy energy moving and the Guardian's war cry in a way I never have before, like animals screaming in wrath. I could bear it. Here when I dreamed again, it was a different kind of battle. Run. There was this absolutely enormous facility. Each dreaming was a run. There was a issue of trust, but far more focused. Far, far more kinesis and chance of strategic mischief. The only thing I can compare the facility to was all the levels of neon white. Incredible verticality. Just miles and miles. And not just scale. There were shifts into other worlds. I made the right decision several times. And then the wrong one once, and the water was going against me, an incredible flow and tidal waves as I was going up these massive giant stairs. And then I did it right, but the game was altered so I would not win. Which was a sign that I am winning. It's the end game of my fight against what part of Secret Storm was placed inside me as a curse. Far, a longer way to run. I was lost in a city and then I found where I needed to be by the water. It was this place where I was flirting undramatically with a cute guy who bought me a drink. And I was looking at a boat with a standing dark silhouette, a calm unmoving horse, and talking about the horse and calling him by name like I knew him. I was evoking a silly mystique, only mostly. Havenborough. It seemed I had been lost and on a long journey not long ago. Then I was in a tight strapless dark dress, drinking a martini and smiling. Casually dressed, bright, friendly, fairly charming for his age, late 20s I believe. He was very interested in me. There was another girl with us talking at the bar. The bar restaurant had open windows, fairly spacious interior, you could see out, it was well lit enough, it was nicely dim in the bar, bright but misty outside. The bay, the water, pretty far, it got misty, there are islands out there, an archipelago somewhere not very far. There was some talismanic energy kit from a dark but stable place. I didn't know what it would do. And surreal intimacy. Uncanny, uncomfortable, beautiful. I was in a dark purple and burgundy or magenta skin-tight showgirl gown with ruffles over the butt made of tulle and other accents. I was happy, actually, laughing. I was with a lot of other queer people. Several of the trans femmes in similarly beautiful and loudly vivacious gowns. We seem to be intuiting some kind of performance in the basement below the bar. This is interesting because the bar seemed to be on the water by the bay. I have a sense feeling of the carnival core.
How was the Savior designated? Why did his Father send him into the world? Who is his Father? What kind of realm will we go to? For, although he told us, this realm is modeled on the imperishable realm, he didn't teach us about the latter. All of a sudden, while I was contemplating these things, behold, the heavens opened and the whole of creation shone with a light from above.
Do re mi. Contact all my regulars and let them know I will be in their city soon. Do re mi. Queen Beryl calls Esmeralda. Great leader needs Energeia. Kronos Gore was wisdom's children. Now I am left, and you right, against a wall. Do re mi fa sol la ti do. The next manifestation of the theater of Abaddon. People trapped in a maze of the most inane low art forms of media throughout history. They are strapped, locked into chairs in a usually slow-moving roller coaster cart, such as in a House of Horrors ride. Their eyelids are kept open in the style of Clockwork Orange, and they are electrocuted with a cattle prod if they fall asleep. What they are forced to watch is based on some of the worst media of the last 1,000 years. A sort of extremely disgusting, body medieval minstrel.
And the world quaked. I was afraid, yet, behold, a little child appeared before me in the light. I continued looking at him as he became an old man. And then he changed again, becoming like a young man. I didn't understand what I was seeing. But the one likeness had several forms in the light. And these likenesses appeared each through the other. And the vision had 3 forms. He said to me, John, why doubt? Why be afraid? Don't you know this image?
Not surprisingly, the cult has failed many times throughout history. As a result of their failures, they are trying to compensate with future atrocities. The once angelic Abaddon is separated from the creature in the abyss Choronzon. The first one is used only as a symbol, the second is venerated, as a sacrosanct mutation. Do re mi fa sol la ti do. Spent years fighting fascists and I know what it takes to beat them. You don't have to be an anarchist or a radical, but you've got to care a lot more about what's going on. You have to demand accountability from those who socialize with racists and fascists. Or you will lose, I guarantee it. Do re mi. You have done nothing wrong. The fact is I am a mess. There is a minimum level of discipline and maturity to be involved in BDSM and polyamory, and I feel I am nowhere near that. I feel like I am two people, happy bubbly me and deeply broken me. I don't want to seem two-faced. Everything expected of me has been fair and reasonable. And yet I have been freezing up and dissociating for hours. I have taken on a level of responsibility that I can't sustain. As to us breaking up, I don't want that. I love you very much. But I need to slow down. I need to figure myself out. I need to be worthy of you. I am so lost right now. Do re mi. Lost in this morass, a gaseous famine of atrophied thought. I ache for you, mother of harlots and abominations. On this wretched husk of earth I rake my bloody fingernails across the enemy, the Gaia killer. Dahlia bayonet. I ache to wild. It feels as steel desecrated by the decay that envelops me. Defiled aluminum, lost allies, my heart banshee shrieking, the bridge creaking as I will simply say, students, the arcane spire seems to have adapted to their needs and becomes a school. As is often the pattern, dealing with him in the room where the killing takes place. It replays each time I die. Like a training simulation. It turns out the solution is not to defeat him but to wound him enough I can get past him and run to where there is help from the immortal faculty. And other students. An indoor plaza. With beautiful tall wide windows letting in vast amounts of sunlight, and parts of the floor at an incline. Very very high ceiling on this floor. Everything beautifully minimalist but just gothic enough to have grit. Feels genuine, solid, ancient. This is where the final fight with the killer happens. Overwhelmed by the immortal faculty he somehow escapes. At one point I saw from perspective of the muscular murderer. He was at the bottom of the tower as if he snuck down there or teleport after the killing. At some point I have my own room. Lose my key, lost my bag out there. As halfway through the dream I met the doorkeeper trying to return and he says he cannot allow me in. The third time I ask to be let in. Later, I am brought in. The immortal faculty hear me bemoan my lost key and bags and they help me get a new key. They are compassionate. Before I had a room of my own I slept in the floor right below the observatory. It's beautiful there. Very high ceilings with a geometric dome ceiling asymmetric in the right way. Like one half of the geometric dome is slightly different. #TS Fudanari. Do re. #XXX. Do re mi. A kind woman recommended the following. Korean face mask. Pacifica. Brand. 0. Brand. The Ordinary. Caffeine mask for dark circles. Pore clarifying cleansing balm. Hyaluronic acid 1 dropper full in each hand. Alta. Oil cleanser. Regular cleanser for face type. As a teacher once said, good art must do two things. Art should express how one feels. And it should share those feelings with the world. Not simply express, but relate, seek to connect. I feel upon me a sadness. Why? Fear. Why? Anger. Why? Hatred. Why? Longing. For the ones I love and think about every day. This is Chrysanthemum Song. This has been Stone 7. Thank you for listening.